So, T Squad, this is what I'm saying. I've been doing my research on it because I want to do a documentary on this. People treat heavier people different than what they treat skinnier, especially when it come to women. This is my opinion. No man not with money or with status is about to just and he's in a dating pool, he not going to find no fat ass girl. Come on. I'm just saying I was a bigger girl before, so I know. They have so many options. They're not just going, oh, well, she's a good person, I'm gonna get the fat girl. No, they're gonna try to go with the baddie, the one that they are more attractive to. And it also, I just want to let y'all know how people not really fucking with fat girls. When I'm telling y'all, chubby and all that, people really don't fuck with fat girls. I'm telling y'all. We be all that, fat is beautiful, this and that, and they be clowning the fuck out of us. Why you think Lizzo lost weight? So you mean to tell me, especially when it come to entertainment, right? How many big girls they got? They got way more smaller girls than big girls in the music industry. So that should tell you the overall like. These men are liking big girls. And the ones that do really like big girls, you heard me? It's rare. They got a market for that, but it ain't the overall worldwide market. That's what I'm trying to tell you. I'm a woman and I ain't going to look for no fat ass dude. I'm going to go fuck with the skinny ones before that. That's just the truth. People do not feel like big people are attractive. People feel like when you in your prime, you got that weight off, like straight up. No matter if you want fuss, fight the L, whatever, people are not attracted to bigger people. And in bigger people, come on, I was a big girl. We carry the most insecurities and act like we confident. You heard me? But this is a great topic, y'all. Keep the comments coming. You heard me? True Tea with LegendaryMsTee. Okay.
Hey everyone, Chloe here, and welcome back to The New Feminine, and welcome back to this soft power platform and this amazing channel. And if you are a new subscriber to our community, hello and hi and welcome. Now, before we get into the topic of chubby icons who go on to lose the weight for house cleaning purposes, I understand that being overweight can be a very sensitive and a very triggering topic, especially for women and their self-image. We all know that over half of Americans are either overweight or severely obese, and that in the femininity community, that weight loss is always highly recommended, not only for your health, but to greatly improve your self-image, how you fit in your clothes, and how you look overall. But this discussion will be more about how to deal with the hate when you do actually lose the weight. And I will also be briefly talking about what it means to be sexually threatening, because there needs to be a conversation about the surprising amount of aggressive, hostile, and junkyard dog bullying and backlash that will often arrive at a woman's doorstep when a woman actually accomplishes the very coveted goal of significant weight loss. And this conversation is especially important for Black women, not only to be more competitive in the hypergamous dating and marriage marketplace, because let's face it, it is way easier to date any old dusty in a field of washed up men who can only Netflix and chill. But when it comes to dating up, a different skill set is required when widening your casting net. But this conversation is especially needed for some Black women because many Black women are not being taught the significant importance of eating well and taking care of their bodies, because in our community, we tend to heavy-handedly overly focus on makeup and being influenced by cartoonish BBLs and stiff wigs, perfume abuse, and lamb chop eyelashes, in the game of wanting to have more feminine appeal, which for many Black women will sting to hear. So for those of you who are tuned in, this will not be a kumbaya holding hands, a girl's girl, can we all get along conversation, but more of an honest discussion about how nasty, how vile, and how mean-spirited that women can get when it comes to improving your chances of being courted on a higher level, especially when it comes to significant weight loss. Because when a woman decides to break away from the weight loss struggle bus or to break away from the fat girl gang, women who have a herd mindset do what they do best when they feel threatened. They eat their own. So again, for house cleaning purposes, you have been warned. So it's been a minute since we've had a discussion or a conversation on weight and desirability and attractiveness, which will always be a part of the femininity, the hypergamous, and the desirability conversation, because weight loss is so hugely connected to attractiveness and the male gaze. Now, of course, the male gaze isn't the end all be all of life, but on the femininity front, being a desirable feminine woman is deeply connected to soft power and Venus energy and Oshun energy and Aphrodite energy, Siren energy, and overall, all of the sexual attention that comes with being perceived as a goddess. And for those of you who are new here, I highly recommend that you watch both my weight loss video and my goddess archetype video to both enlighten yourself and to move the needle forward in your life. Now, women who are naturally either born with goddess beauty or who have blossomed into goddess beauty have always been bullied, harassed, and attacked for their pretty privilege or for getting a lot of attention from men. So a feminine school video about what it means to be sexually threatening. Once a fat girl or a chubby icon decides to lose the weight that once made her so quote unquote relatable and fake likable has been way overdue. Now, there are so many once chubby and or fat women or fat girl actresses or entertainers who have disappointed their parasocial fan bases by dropping the weight and by looking better in their fashion or even by making womanhood milestone moves like starting a family like the actress Mindy Kaling or being able to land a higher caliber man like the singer Adele. And most recently, another example of this outrage when chubby icons switch it up is the Euphoria actress Barbie Ferreira, forgive me if I am butchering her name, who played the highly insecure, emotionally unstable fat girl that tries to come off as confident, but who in real life went on ahead and shedded her overweight, obese, body positive image in favor of dropping those unhealthy pounds immediately. And some of her parasocial stans who were living vicariously through her unthreatening big girl confidence were having convulsions and meltdowns, and her comments were in the shambles as so many of her stans were feeling betrayed, all because she has bowed out of being the chubby icon. And the stans always seem to go nuclear every time that a curvy celebrity or a BBW woman decides to lose the weight, instead of respecting that a woman has the right to change her mind and that a woman has the right to do what is healthiest for her. And it is a pretty sick and a pretty irrational thought to want to bully someone into staying thick or fat or overweight or obese or trying to shame them into continuing to live an unhealthy lifestyle, all because you want to live vicariously through their image or their representation. Now, weight loss will always be a sensitive topic because underneath it all, absolutely no one wants to be obese. Of course, we come in all body shapes and sizes, but nobody wants to be perceived as unhealthy or unattractive or seen as less desirable. But whenever a woman decides to unbig her back or to get that Ozempic or that gastric sleeve or that lipo, or decides to drop her distractions by getting in that gym and radically changing her diet, then all of a sudden, all of the people who were very comfortable with you being the funny fat friend or the funny fat girl or the friend that's ignored when in the club or being Miss Invisible like background furniture, then all of a sudden your phony friends who have designated you as the third wheel, all of a sudden they don't like you because you had the audacity to break command by centering your worth and by making your visibility a desirable standard. And any woman who has lost
Can we help you?
Oh, hi, I'm Amy. I live next door.
Okay.
significant weight can attest to this very predictable backlash. Now, whenever a woman makes herself sexually competitive for the male gaze, here comes the bullies who feel entitled to shame you back into your place or your ranking because your increased visibility will trigger their insecurities and make them feel threatened, especially when you are now receiving more male attention than ever before, even when receiving male attention wasn't even your overall goal. Now, I've been personally consulting women about how to improve their feminine image, so I have been doing this work long enough to know that attention from men can make a lot of insecure women soul sick because it reminds them that men are wired to care about attractiveness and they always will. And whenever a fat woman even dare makes themselves more competitive in the dating and marriage marketplace, All of those "you're just as fine as you are" friends that she once had will turn on her like a corner. And I can only imagine how Lizzo stans will react when she gets that Adele package, because trust, it's coming. Everyone loves to see the size 16 and up fat girl crying about her weight, but absolutely no one likes to see the fat girl lose the weight, or even worse, win at love and provision, because it is a silent agreement amongst women that the less competition in the marketplace for a man's attention and his provision, the better. Now, when it comes to seductive power, I did want to talk briefly about what it means to be sexually threatening. Now, to be sexually threatening is basically a woman's ability to inspire the male gaze to ideations of lust and desire. And it is a seductive power that many women wish to have, because as women, we are wired to be noticed and to be considered beautiful. But to be sexually threatening will usually mean that a woman possesses high levels of attractiveness that will stir a man's loins. Think about it. How many times have you wished that you had the curves, the sexual attention, or the sex appeal of the women who are pedestalized in our society? When women do not possess this sexually threatening power, it will usually trigger their insecurities or inadequacies. And when people are insecure, they'll either project or attack out of fear of erasure. This is where the smear campaigns, the humiliation attacks, and the overall attempts to destroy a woman's reputation come into play, all in an attempt to weaken her appeal to others. This is where the bullying, the harassment, the false narratives, and the super toxic swarms of internet hatred will typically come into play. And boy, oh boy, oh boy, did Megan Thee Stallion receive more than her fair share of hate. Overall, women who use their sexual power for visibility, for social climbing, or for monetary gain of any kind are typically irrationally hated or extremely disliked for no rhyme or reason, or they will inspire millions of women who want to be like her, from Beyonce to Rihanna to video vixens to Lori Harvey to Kim Kardashian to Marilyn Monroe to Kendall Jenner to Emily Ratajkowski. These women have harnessed the power of being hate-watched into million and billion-dollar empires, all through the power of being sexually threatening. So bottom line, reeling it back into weight loss, when a woman decides to drop significant weight, her mate selection increases, her hypergamous options increases, her health increases, she becomes more visible to the male gaze. You are approached and chased by men more. You're no longer considered very visible, low-hanging fruit. You're treated better overall. You look better in your photos, and your friends who are accustomed to neglecting themselves or who get very little attention from men will hate you. Because from a feminine perspective, women are the flowers of the world. I've said this before. They need watering, they need sunlight, and they need attention. Otherwise, they will wither and die. This is why social media has become the attention-seeking monster it's become, because everyone desires visibility of some kind. Even the trolls, who are always gunning for negative attention, because attention is attention, whether good or bad, because absolutely no one likes to be ignored. So ladies and lurkers, to get this conversation started, are women who decide to lose weight a threat? Should women get upset when their favorites are no longer interested in being chubby icons? Do people have a problem with women who appear to be winning too much? And should a woman apologize for doing whatever it takes to get ahead when it comes to her looks? And are your friends really your friends when they rather see you leveled down? And as always, I thank you for listening. I thank you for watching. And I thank you for sharing this video